Morning, morning. Here we go. What's with these kids going the wrong way today? It is windy out there today. It's windy. It's the weather is really bizarre. There was a notice in my newspaper yesterday that said the rainy season has been declared to be started in Kyushu. This is not here, not in Tokyo. And that's 25 days earlier than normal. And the guy's like, I'm not so sure this is a good decision to make to call it the beginning of the rainy season. 25 days early, more than 3 weeks. It's not here. We've had rain, but not rainy season rain. Rainy season rain is it's windless, it's monsoon, the air is 99% humidity. We're getting there. It's damp out there today, but it's gusty wind. It's sort of a March type weather. I was a bit worried that the camera might actually, well, at the moment it's quiet, but it's coming and going. We'll see during the stream today, I think. I was a bit worried that the camera could get blown over, but it's settled down a little bit now. But yeah, it's that kind of weather. It's gusting and stopping and gusting and stopping and whatever. So I don't know what to think about all this. No idea. The weather is just, well, we know what's happening, so, nothing. Whatever we thought was going to happen with the weather is going to be different, so. Okay, you know what we're up to today. This is a standard, what's the expression, a bog standard normal stream today. We're going to chop away at some tiger hair. I do have a show and tell. It's a bit of a laugh about it. It's something I got a week or so ago on the open auction. Interesting item. The building is actually shaking with the wind. There's gusts of wind that come so strong. Who knows? It's possible I may have to go out there and rescue the camera part way along. We'll see. We'll see. So the goods for show and tell today, something that I got on auction last week. For me, it's interesting. For a lot of people, it probably is not going to be too interesting, but whatever. For me, it's interesting. But it arrived a few days ago, and we have this usual problem. That sometimes the people, it goes into escrow. If it's over a certain amount, it goes into escrow. And the people don't get their money if the receiver doesn't go to the website and link, I got it, it's okay, you're clear, you can now pay the guy. So this is one of the ones that went into escrow. So I put it aside thinking we'd open it on the stream. But I can't do that. The guy doesn't get paid. So what I did was, you'll see, I start to open this thing, and it's the white tape. It's right here, actually. It's got. I did it after the last. It's the white tape thing that we start to do. White tape like the green tape. And tape came off, and tape came off, and more tape came off, and more tape came off. And I'm thinking, this would have been so much fun to open on the stream, And I got inside the package. And then I can see that inside it, there's 2, 3, 4, I don't know how many more layers of tape. So I said, screw this, I'm just going to give up. And I clicked the link that said, received okay, even though I haven't actually finished opening it yet. So we'll pick up part way along today. It's okay, most of these things are always okay. So put down the mic outside a bit, we can do that. It's here, put it down halfway. Is it picking up the wind? There's the fan's also running a lot here. Okay, just turn the mic off outside. Okay, here. The mic now is down to next to nothing. Although I suspect what you would also be hearing is the fan, because this machine is for some reason running today. So anyway, we'll have today's show and tell where we show some more Japanese tape. Whatever, I don't know. Are we on stream here? Well, the object itself is, for me, it's hugely interesting. It's, whatever, we'll talk about it when we get there. It's okay, no problem. Also, today is, please remind me, getting closer to 9 o'clock, today is another lottery day for my vaccine. Things are a little bit different this time. It seems that lots and lots of people have been complaining. I kept quiet about this. There's no reason bugging those people. The people in the city hall are probably trying to just do their jobs. But there seems to have been an uproar. So for a number of cities, and Ome City included, they've changed the routine. It's going to be the same website we saw before. I'm going to get in there and jam in my name and number and try and get a reservation. But what they've done is they've announced a policy that today's entries will not just be for the 200 or whatever numbers they've got for this week. They're going to take reservations today right through until the end of July. So I guess there will be not 400 spots available today. There will be maybe 4,000 spots available today. I have no idea how they've actually calculated this. So do I have more of a chance, or is it still pissing in the wind? I don't know. No idea. So we'll see how it goes. That excitement will begin just before 9 o'clock, if you remind me. Wouldn't that be cool to forget? No, anyways, this is the 65 plus. And also something else they've changed. They've also put the 75 pluses into a different group. I guess there was really probably lots of complaining. It doesn't make sense, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So the thing that I'll be doing in today is for the 65 plus in Ome City. But for the 75 plus, they've set up a separate phone line. Those people and their helpers can phone and make a reservation separately. I don't know what that means, if they've set aside, whatever. So what will be happening this morning is the 65 to 75 age group in Ome City banging on the doors trying to get in. A 9-day weekday slot, I could tell you probably so. Yeah, Rishke, they're starting to set up mass vaccination sites. And this is funny. I told you yesterday, they've called in the army. The army is now setting these things up. And they're still not ready yet, but whatever. Even the army takes time to do this. But the paradox here is the vaccines that are available at the local clinics here, the ones that I'll be trying to sign up for today, it's the Pfizer vaccine, which was allowed for Japan half a year ago or something, and they've imported them. The one the Army is going to do, they've told the Army, here you are, we're going to give you, I forget the number, you'll see the news, 8 million doses of the Moderna vaccine. And apparently the thing is here. It's arrived, it's got off the airplanes, it's all in storage. The thing is, it's not legally allowed to be used in Japan. It hasn't received approval from the health ministry yet. So the Moderna vaccine is still going through all the, whatever it is the Japanese health ministry decides to do before it approves it. It's going through testing, or it's just sitting on some dude's desk or whatever, I don't know. But anyway, it's not approved for use in Japan, according to the health ministry. Meanwhile, the Army is setting up the vaccination sites ready for this thing. The government says, yeah, it's in the warehouses, it's all set to go. So they've imported it illegal. It just goes around and around. And you can imagine there's some health ministry which is justifiably tasked with this. You must check all these medicines to approve them for Japan. So that's their normal job. They think it's important. They do this stuff. In the meantime, now the government's just gone right around the back of them. They've already imported the stuff. They've got it in the freezers ready. They've told the Army, get ready, hold it above the guy's arm, get ready, get ready. Okay, health ministry, we're waiting for your approval. And some dude is sitting there and it's on his desk with his hunko. Like he thinks, my life is really, you know what, I don't know. Bureaucracies. Why am I laughing? I live here, you know. I shouldn't be so sarcastic about it. It's a bunch of, honest, hardworking people trying to do the right thing at an individual level, and the group level, the people in the different groups and the offices. It's all intelligent, smart, hardworking, super hardworking people trying to do the right thing. But for some reason, I don't know, you tell me, it's not just Japan, it's anywhere. Once you get a bureaucracy and this is the sort of sad part about this, because at the interface, the city office there, the helpline, people will be phoning this helpline and they'll be screaming and yelling and ranting and raving. And the poor lady at the other end, she just works for City Hall, and like she's not responsible for this, you know. So I feel a bit sad about that. That's partly the reason I'm not phoning in, I'm not complaining, I'm not doing anything, just sort of waiting my turn here. Because the people up there are really sort of trying to do the right thing, you know. And like Dave here, his organization runs, of course, perfectly, never any mistakes and never anything wrong and all. Excuse me. So whatever, it's the thing we all love to complain about, but there it is, you know. I'll get a clump of hair here, and how much to open it up and how much to leave it clumped. You know, when we look at the, you know, quote, original, unquote, where are we? We're somewhere, where are we? We're somewhere down here. So again, some of them are open in between, there's little V's. As long as I get the outside shape and then I do some reasonably, you know, hairy looking things inside, we really can't tell. There's a gap there, there's probably a gap in the one next to it, there's a gap there. You make the gaps match these bumps. So I have a fair amount of freedom here just to play and make something look nice here. Focus gets a bit blurry when you carve. Well, it's autofocus, so it tries to follow my hands, I guess. We haven't changed any settings. Is something suddenly gone wrong and different from what it usually is? Maybe we're just trying to focus in too close. It's possible. If I try and get it too close, it just gets blurred. I can't see myself here. It's following my hand, so if I keep my hands out of it, perhaps a bit more. Now it's gone from my field of view. Just a minute. I saw somebody asked a moment ago, there's the paper out. The paper is out. Suga-san is working upstairs. She's working on the June print. That's the Inoshishi, it's the wild boars print, the one with the waterfall in the background. She and Ishikawa-san are working on this, and she's hanging in there. They're feeling pretty, what's the word? They're feeling pretty stressed up there now these days, of course, with the printer situation. I don't know how many people might have seen the blog post I made last night explaining what's going on, but there is a real situation here at the moment with our printers. We have normally 9 people that we use for our printing on a normal day-to-day, week-to-week basis. And out of the 9 of them, due to strange combination of circumstances, we are now down to 3 printers for the next 3, 4, 5 months. It's not quite clear how long this is going to go on for. So just at the time of year, these next few months are actually our biggest time of year for printing. And just at the time of year when we have the biggest demand for our printing, the combination of circumstances has taken them away from me. So we're down to 3 people at the moment. Well, 2 really competent people and 1 sort of trainer. And we have a bit of a crisis here in the labor at the moment. So. And almost certainly that means that over the next few months, as we move into May and June and into the summer, you're going to see me upstairs more. I'll be doing more printing than carving. Once this block is finished, I guess. Maybe even before that. There we go. Bump the outside first to give it the bumpy effect, and then try and match the hairs inside. You're talking about focus. We did try, I mean this is a few years back, we did try to set the camera on a manual focus to this point, and that was even worse. I don't remember the details of it, but it was even worse. I need a cameraman actually, but that's not practical for a stream like this. So. Yesterday morning when I was planning my daily schedule, it's sort of the triage, what jobs need doing, and I realized it was time to do that Patreon update, because it's been months and months and months since I've even said thank you. It's funny, some of the people that run Patreon and programs, campaigns if you call them, whatever, they are really effusive in the way they thank people. There's one that I'm a small member of. I put a few dollars a month into somebody who's running a Patreon campaign. And he is really effusive. Every time he does something, a video or whatever, he spends minutes upon minutes, hugely thanking the people who are supporting his campaign. And I realized, that I'm actually not so effusive about this. Months and months and months go by, and I don't even communicate with the people. We do send them their prints and stuff like that, so we're on the case. But Dave doesn't sit there bowing down and saying thank you very often, and I don't know what a good balance for this. So anyway, yesterday I was thinking, geez, it's been a long time, these people are probably thinking he's just pocketing the money and doesn't care and whatever. So I thought it was overdue to make a post to those people who, to let them know what sort of things are going on, But I have mixed feelings when I do this, because every time I do, people sometimes tend to take it as a request for more money and stuff like this. So every time I mention that word, actually, things happen and more people sign up and things like this. So I tried yesterday when making that post to make it factual and list the good stuff and list the things that are going on, and make it not at all about a request for more funding, So. But I wake up this morning and a whole bunch of people have increased their funding level and stuff like this, and I really don't know how to handle this very well, So it's really heartwarming having that support, just wonderful, And the episode I mentioned at the end of that update, the lady who had come and to say thank you and stuff like this, and actually I won't forget that one in a hurry, Skype. It's my daughter. Doesn't she know I'm on stream? Excuse me for the interruption. I've got to say hello to her and then say goodbye. Just a sec. Umi-chan, I'm streaming. I'm streaming. We're live. Umi-chan. Okay, Umi-chan, Umi-chan, I'm streaming. I'm streaming right now. We're live, actually. Sorry. She can't hear me. She can't hear me because my mic is connected to the Skype. I got to write her a note here. Just a sec. Okay, thanks. Yep. Okay. Yep. Sorry. Sorry for the interruption. Excuse me, gang. So she's in the park with her two kids, my grandchildren, and her nephews, my other grandchildren. And because of the way the microphone's set up, she can't hear me because my mic is connected through to this stream. So sorry. There is a way to patch it. I could have tried to drop it in here, but it's okay. No, I'm not going to shut this down. She'll call back. She's in the park. She's just showed me her iPhone. She's playing in the park with the kids, so it's okay. In fact, she's probably now gone over to the browser and watching this for a few minutes here. Who knows? We did once. Remember, some of you who've been watching this stream for a long, long time, my mother phoned one day, and we actually got it patched together. We took a Skype window and patched it into the Twitch stream and got the audio figured out, and there was a bunch of feedback, but whatever. Is she dropping in here? I don't know. I don't think so. She's just on her iPhone. Oh, look at this question. Do I have plans to pick up the Arts of Japan series for the old supporters who subscribed? It's been years since the last print. It has indeed been years. You say old supporters, some of them are quite young. It's a thing, you know, it's a thing. I don't actually know who you are, I'm sorry. I guess you're one of those supporters. Just to interrupt this stream for the moment, the print you're mentioning is actually under construction. It's here on the bench, and every now and then actually we do a little bit of work on it. I know it's an awkward situation for me, I know. I shouldn't have started that series. I didn't know what was about to happen to me. Just a few months after I started that, the Ukiyo Heroes thing came along, which, you know, I had to grab. I could not just leave that fly by. And once I grabbed that Ukiyo Heroes brass ring, with the full intention of continuing my own series, of course, and running Mokuhankan at the same time, I grabbed that brass ring and it pulled me off my horse, you know. And here we are, and Dave still thinks he's got a series, he still thinks he's a printmaker, he still thinks there are collectors out there waiting for his work. But every minute of every day, of every waking minute of every day now is being stolen from me by this organization trying to keep this thing going. I don't know what to say. I really, really, really want to finish that series. The idea is, I guess, that as soon as, and this is a bit of a, I'm sorry, it sounds like a joke, as soon as I can get out from underneath all this crazy work at this place, 20 employees and everything else, then that work is waiting for me. The Ome workroom is waiting for me. The series is waiting for me. I really, really, really want to finish it. I mean, that's just empty words at this point because I have failed to get back there. So I'm sorry, I don't have any really sensible things to say other than that I've screwed this up, whatever, I screwed it up. Started the series and then haven't been able to continue. Some people are really, really upset. There are people who will never speak to me again. How could you abandon us? We supported you for so many years and you just simply dropped it and walked away. And there's one lady in particular, she will never speak to me again. All I can try and mumble to her is that I hadn't planned it this way, but what I ended up being in a situation where I can make those prints for 65 people who are waiting, and 65 of us will have a print and we'll be happy. Or I can keep running Mokohankan and literally millions of people are happy. I don't know. So yes, if you're one of the subscribers, the waiters, watching with 3 other people carving on your website. So you're like John Becker type going back. I'm not guessing who your name is. I'm sorry, I don't know. But so it's come down to that. It's the work I'm doing now is affecting hundreds of thousands, millions of people. It's keeping 20 people employed. It's moving this art form, craft form forward to the future. The work is staggeringly important. The work on that series is private and small for a group, and all I can say is I really want to do it. I'm not sure you say, shouldn't it be about what makes you happy? No, what makes me happy, whatever, there's a responsibility here. I think I started something, I said I would do it, and there's a responsibility there. So not strictly about what makes me happy in that sense. There's a responsibility, oh my God. That's what this lady who is really upset said. You just treated us like dirt. We helped you all those years. We helped you move forward. And then once you got moved forward, you got rich and famous, you just tossed us aside. And maybe she's right. I don't know. Well, I'm not rich and famous, but maybe she's right, I tried a little bit a couple of months ago, that block I just showed you. I did try moving forward on it, carving here. And then now again, I find myself on a deadline on this project. I don't know. Anthony, I don't know. To say I'm sorry and just hang on for a bit longer, I don't know. I don't know, I'm sorry, In retrospect, it was the timing. If only Ukiyo Heroes had come along like 6 or 7 months earlier, then I wouldn't have started that arts project. And it would have been, Dave's career would have sort of finished with the ending of the project before that. 25 years. It was exactly 25 years of printmaking. And it would have made a lot of sense. I didn't know what was coming. It would have made sense for me to finish just before I started that project and then switch to being a publisher instead of a printmaker. But I didn't know what was coming up. It turned out that I haven't been able to do both. That's the nub of it, Now I'm sitting here guessing which one of those 60-odd people this is. I don't know. If you write to me after the stream's over, I'd be happy to just communicate directly with you, please. Okay, I can't follow us. Oh, it's Chris. Okay, thank you, sir. I don't guess we've ever met. I don't remember. I'm sorry. It's sort of a bit of a long time ago now. I'm sorry. Yeah, John too. He's waiting, I guess. Is he? I don't even remember now who's waiting. I don't remember now. Oh, vaccine. Okay, remind me about the vaccine. Yes. So. Okay, let me do a bit of work here. Excuse me. So, there's another aspect to that, that series that is sort of sitting and waiting, and the one that's in limbo, is that, okay, something happens here to Mokohankan, and Dave is actually able to spend 1 day a week clear back on that block, and he does. He moves ahead and gets it carved and gets it ready to send out. So let's imagine that situation. There I am getting ready to send this out, and there's 60 odd subscribers who haven't heard from me in this sense in 7 years? Is that what it is? 6, 7 years. I can't obviously at that point just send it out. Here's pay the bill, here's your print. There's no way I can do that. At base, I'm going to have to write to those people and say, okay, here's what happened, and now actually I have done this. And I think, now that I think about it, there's only really one thing to do, is that when I do get the next print ready, it's of course going to have to be complimentary for those people. There's no way I can in any way expect them to sit and pay for that. I mean, luckily I didn't do it in a way that people were paying in advance. That was never the case. We sent the prints and people paid afterwards. So I'm not in monetary debt to anybody. But there's that question too: is how on earth do I handle this, even assuming I can get the next print ready? Also, the series was supposed to be 18 prints. It was going to be the same kind of series as the Mystique series, which preceded it, which was 18 prints, in which I finished the year or so previous. But given that the art series now has, I think it's 7 prints finished, it clearly makes no sense to try and pretend that there's going to be 18. So what might be sensible to do with those people is this: tell those 60 odd people, I've got my time back together, I can make some more prints. Here's what we'll do: is if I make 3 more to make it a set of 10, are you okay with that? And something like this, I don't know. I'd be open to suggestions, whatever is the most ethical, logical, sensible way to handle that. I don't know. But yeah, this is one of the biggest screw-ups of my life, absolutely. It's all Jed's fault. Yeah, thanks, Chris. No ill feelings. Thank you. I'm just a bit, Thanks for the understanding here. Thank you. No, the lady who is upset, please don't blame her in any way whatsoever. I'm absolutely sure that her viewpoint is legit. I wasn't trying to say, here's somebody bad to me, please diss her. That was not my intention. I'm sorry, very much so. And I appreciate and understand how she could feel that way. So I'm not in any way trying to ask for defense against that. the thing about that, and that lady especially too, is somebody in my end of this thing. We never really know, what the other people are thinking. That lady obviously she was getting prints from me, but she clearly wasn't just simply buying prints. She was feeling that her money was going towards something important, something bigger. She was helping support the project, the work, and me. So that when it sort of didn't continue, she felt a little bit, that it had, I hadn't delivered as promised. The wider viewpoint is that the support she did give me over those years, it is still being expressed now. The fact that I was able to get through those years and develop skill as a printer and make a living and buy the house and the workshop and then start to hire people with that same money, that support she gave me through those years is being expressed now in this thing that we all see now, in the YouTube videos and in the huge spreading of this craft around the world. It's not that Dave is 100% personally responsible for that, but I have had an influence. And the support she gave me during those years is actually, it's behind that. It's one of the things that helped make that happen. So if I did have a chance to sit and talk to her rationally about this, I would like to be able to say that your support made a huge difference, and look where we are now, and thank you very much. And now if you'll sit down, if you're still okay with this, if I've got time to make this print, let's move forward, So that's why I feel a bit sad about it. That if she is upset at me, actually, she did get, her money and her support did have meaning. It did do something, So anyway, enough of this. There's another aspect of this, experience. What was it? Not yesterday, the day before. I got an email, not an email, it was a phone call from a lady. I can tell her name, okay, from Audrey-san. She was over at Sensoji Temple with her husband. Those of you who have been visitors here to the shop over the past few years, you might remember Audrey. Tall girl, taller than me, elegant lady, French. She was here in Japan studying Japanese, studying kabuki. She's still here in Japan, no problem. She was one of our print party hosts during the years we had print parties, 2018 and 2019. No, Chris, no apologies, please, thank you. No trouble at all. Thank you very much for your feedback, interesting. And if your email is still the same, let me pop an email to you after we're finished. Thank you very much. Nothing here at all negative. So. Anyway, Audrey, she phoned the other day. She says, I'm over at Sensoji. Can we drop by? Like the shop's closed. She didn't know if I was going to be here. And I said, get over, let's say hello to us all. So 10, 15 minutes later, Audrey shows up. There's a point to this story. Audrey shows up with the baby buggy and her husband. And there's the baby. And he's now 6, 7, 8, 9 months old, somewhere around there. She told me, but I've already forgotten. The baby is not quite a year old ready. And the point of the story is that what happened at this is that she was running one of our print parties, 2018 August, something, whatever. People come in and do this and do that, and they enjoy the print party, they go away. This was one Wednesday, and there's a point to it being a Wednesday. A week later, one of the guys who had been in the Wednesday print party came back and said, well, he didn't come on, he came like Thursday the next week or something. He said, I want to do another print party. And we're like, you enjoyed it? He said, yeah, I really enjoyed it. I want to do another print party. So we sign him up and he goes in Thursday, and it's different staff. And you can see where this story is going. I don't even need to tell the rest of the story. One of the people who had been in one of Audrey's print parties that year became interested, and one thing led to another, and one thing led to another, and they came by with their baby the other day to say hello. They're a young, happy couple. So yeah, we're doing this. We're having a shop. We're doing things. Dave has moved on to different things from his little series, and as part of our activities, people are meeting each other and doing stuff and having babies and whatever. This is. I mean, that baby only exists because I'm doing this. I mean, what? I'm not quite sure if my head wants to accept this. It's the same for all of us. Just to grab a name, John Becker. What, he only exists because one day his mother turned left instead of turning right and met the guy, and then, so that's the way the universe works. That's okay. I didn't make that baby. But there it is, because we are doing this, because I made a decision to do this and do that and do that, now a human being exists who wouldn't have existed before. And I'm like, what does this mean, They're just happy they came by to say hello and the Oshiburi guy, still the same question I asked the other day. How can he still have a job when all the restaurants are closed? And he's doing it. He's unloading stuff out there. This is the guy who leaves the motor running. There's 2 baskets. He normally seems to have a whole lot of baskets. So if I'm guessing, I think the number of baskets he's got is reduced. But I don't keep track of it that much. So. Yeah, the thing about the baby existing, of course it's not because of me. That's the way the universe works. It's just all these beads and balls and bubbles banging into each other and knocking around. It's the billiard game of life, So I'm in no way responsible for that young man. But now and then we can sort of see a specific track. If I did this, did that, caused this, caused that, and there it is, So it's fun to see those. Normally we sort of can't see them. The day my mother met my father, that sort of thing. We don't know those stories, and we can't see them so clearly. So there's a bit more to that story. As I said, he had come back on the Thursday or something, and then I guess maybe he asked or whatever. That French lady, and maybe we'd have said she's Wednesday. And he came back again on, like another Wednesday. At this point, Dave, as the business manager, Dave said, there's a little warning sign. One of my staff members is being stalked. This could have been a negative thing, Or there's a young man interested in one of our young ladies. This is the normal passage of life. But Dave doesn't know which is which. Should I be careful? When she goes home that next day, maybe there's somebody waiting outside. So I asked her. I specifically said, Audrey-san, just so you know, this has happened and this has happened. And she said, keep away, keep out of this. So, okay. So, okay, but there was that question that this could have been something that wasn't actually, cool. And she said, you keep out of this. So, so I kept out of this. But he did a lot of print parties, that guy. He did a lot of print parties. So much fun. Watch. It was so much fun. the thing about that episode, whether I should have talked to her or not about that and all, there's an episode in my life behind that made me think of that. Normally maybe I wouldn't even have thought of this. This is Japan. People don't stalk women or whatever. Maybe they do, maybe they don't, whatever. But I guess I had asked her, like, what do you think? When you leave tonight, should I walk to the train station with you or something like this? And she had politely blown me away. She said, no, it's okay. Don't worry about this. We're good with this, But the reason I had asked her is not through any, I'd had experience with this, not myself, but what had happened was back when I was still married and had kids, my then wife, we had been living in Japan, but she had gone off to school in Canada. She'd gone off to be a university student in Canada as a what do you call them? A senior student, whatever, as an adult. I forget the word, whatever. So me and the kids stayed in Japan, and she went off to school. And we were in communication. She wrote letters back and forth and phoned and came to holidays and stuff like this. And one of the things she mentioned stunned me, absolutely staggered me. She was going to the same university that I had been to when I was a student, University of British Columbia, UBC. Unlike me, I dropped out. She actually went through and got a degree. But anyway, long story short, she told us that there was a deal here, that when women students were studying in the library late at night, they weren't allowed to leave the building alone. And I'm like, what do you mean? She said there was a crew of men standing by to act as escorts to the bus stop. And every woman, and this is not my story, this is the story, she told it to me. She said every woman who leaves the library, and it's like after a certain time, it's 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock or something, whatever it was. Every woman who has been studying in the library and who leaves for the bus stop goes to the front desk of the library and registers with the guys who are waiting there, and one of them says, hi, let's go, and the two of them together walk to the bus stop. He sees her onto the bus, and he comes back and then gets ready to escort the next woman. And I'm like, what? And she said, it's that dangerous. That's how dangerous it is. And she tells me this, And this is Vancouver, BC, and we're talking now about this is happening in 1991. 1991, 1992, so this is, 30 odd years ago. And I was kind of astonished by this, but it was out of my, nothing. She knows what's going on, the university knows what's going on, but that was the story. Women were not allowed to leave the library late at night unattended. So maybe it was a little bit of a memory of that when I saw this potential stalking thing happening here, that made me mention that, I don't know. But I remember being shocked by that, And she's like, Dave, you're a man. You don't think about this stuff. But we women, we have to think about this all the time. And I'm like, oh, time. 10 minutes to go, 10 minutes to go. We need a buzzer under this seat. Mature student, that's the word I couldn't remember. Sorry, thank you. So was it a specific incident then? Was there a dangerous person was loose in the community, or serial killer or something? I don't know. I don't have any knowledge of this. All I know is as much as I've told you for the story there. This was 1990. She left here in the fall of 1990. We divorced in 93. So it's those couple of years when these things were going on. What did Dave study at university? Dave didn't study at anything. I went for 1 year. I was enrolled in university automatically from high school, step by step, go to university. I started going to classes in September, stopped going to classes in October, just basically dropped out and never went back. So my parents were extremely, extremely disappointed in that. So I have been to university, but only in the sense of opening the front door and walking in and then out you go. Okay, so we got a few minutes. Let me just test something here. I've got the browser here. 1 second, please, to make sure I'm logged in. 1 sec. Still logged in. It's the same interface as before. We go through. Check, check. Nothing, nothing. As long as I'm still logged in here. I don't know how the automatic logout system works, so. Yes, I went to the same university as the ex-wife. I went there in 1969 and then dropped out right away. She went decades later in 1990. And she went through. She actually got a degree. So okay, 7 minutes, 6 minutes. Blum, 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 blum. All right, where were we? Where were we? Let's get over here. This is the paw, I guess, is it? We're going to run up to a paw here. Let's just keep going, see what we get. My parents, it was the end of the world for my parents. They had worked hard and saved up and done all the standard stuff to get their boy to university, because for them it was the pass. It was the pass to a free, not a free life. It was the pass to the upper class, educated, happy life. They had been born into a working class environment in the north of England and were not allowed to get educated. So they worked so hard to get to the point where their kid could get educated, and I threw it away. So they were really, really hit hard by that. My dad especially, he didn't speak to me for like years. It took such a long time to brush out. It was understandable, They were not all that well off. They're a normal middle class family, and they saved and saved and saved to help put me into university, And then I just threw it in their face, My brother too, both of us, me and my brother both threw it away. So for my parents at the time, this was oh my God, it's the end of the world. Our kids had the key to a future life, and they both threw it away, was the mood in the air at the time. So if my mother's here, she could maybe poke in about this, whatever. Is she in here this morning? So. Later it became okay. My parents did both later on. They had their own experiences with higher education. My dad actually became an instructor at a community college and got an inside view of this. And my mother, I believe at one point also along the lines, did enroll in a college with the idea being maybe to move forward and see what it was like. And they then learned at the time that the academic world wasn't actually quite the golden thing on a hill that they had thought it was when they were not part of it. But that particular few years when my brother and I were dropouts in every sense of the word, that was difficult for my parents. So. My mother is here, is she? Nothing surprises your mom. So, I don't know what we remember of those years. I remember that from your point of view, I screwed up pretty badly. And from where we sit now, it's no big deal. But at the time, it was a big deal. Yeah, my mother is listening. 57, okay. Whatever, we're 3 minutes to go. Do we pop up this window again? For those of you who are new here, I have to interrupt this stream for a moment. Trying to get to the top page of the reservation section. Hang on a sec. Vaccines, vaccines, vaccines. Well, Cameron says morning, Harry. Good morning, Cameron San. Okay, page seems to be reloading. All we can do is wait now. We have 1 minute left. We're still logged in, apparently. I logged in a few minutes ago, and it seems to have been kept my login. For those of you who don't speak Japanese, what we're seeing here is on the left-hand side, these are a bunch of, where are we? Area names inside my city of Ome. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The 1/7 from the top is my area. This one, the one that's highlighted now. So if we, that's the one which hopefully will start to show some numbers after we reload. And as I said, the city information this time said instead of 200, 400 doses, they are taking reservations now from everything right to the end of July, they mentioned. So if we don't see some numbers on this 0, I don't even know what to think about. So let's reload the page now. It's still too early, but yeah, reloading. $9.60. Let's reload here. Reload. There's ones, but not in my area. We're not allowed to take those. Come on, reload, please. Reload again. Nothing in my area. Reload again. Come on, website, let's go. There we go, reloading still 0. I can click through the 0 anyway to see what's inside it. We can't take it. If I click on one that's not my area, I just get a message saying, sorry, please choose one that's in your area. We're now 3 minutes in. Here's the calendar, X, 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 X. Move on to the next month. 2 minutes to load each page. What are they doing? Feeding them up one at a time or something? What on earth are they doing? My apologies for the people who are here to watch the woodblock printmaking. Excuse me. It's the second window. It asks you to go through the calendar first or the area first. So how long do we do this before we give up? Now it's loading quickly, so many people have given up and gone home. What happened last time, a week ago, when I was doing this? I was off stream. Remember, we canceled the stream last week, so I did this for myself from my bed. And what happened was, I reloaded and reloaded. And after about 5 or 6 minutes, the message came up saying, we're finished. All the reservations have been taken. So, what an insane, stupid system. I think they're like throwing them up there one or two at a time. Is that what they would do? Are we having fun? I don't know, it just doesn't make any sense. They're showing 0. I mean, if it was showing... No idea. If they were more transparent, if they told us what they were going to do, that they would put up a few every few minutes, whatever, or is it all finished? I have no way to tell. It seems strange that it never once went to a 1. If they were really opening reservations for everything now till the end of July, that's thousands of spots, and it never once changed from a 0. This is, on the left it's select by your area, and on the right is select by the date. Although on select by date, how do they know where I am? June, May, nothing. But now it's loading quickly. So everybody's given up and gone home. All zeros. I think we're done, people. I think we're done. Let me look at my mailbox, see if there's something there that says we're finished for the day. That's what happened last week. They sent a mail saying, thank you, but it's all over. Nope. Screw it. Nope, screw it. Let's forget it. Remind me in a couple minutes to have a look again or something, but I think there's nothing there. I think there's nothing there. Somebody's asking about the interface. We click through. This is the, what we've done here is the MySpace. It shows nothing available, but it click through anyway. It then would normally list everything here. The city center, it's marked as X. There's only one place to click through. The calendar is marked. The dashes are just dashes. Nothing comes up. The X's are this one. It says there's no empty space available in that spot. And there should be maru. The Japanese system is maru batsu. A round circle means okay, an X means nothing. And a triangle might mean, who knows, whatever. So there's nothing else to look for on the interface here. The spots that are available are done with X's. Unless I'm misunderstanding this, whatever, that's your link. In America, I see they're paying people for this. Interesting. Interesting. Whatever, Dave, cheer up. It's okay, whatever. 9/11. Let me check again in a couple of minutes or something, but there's obviously no point to doing that. So. Carve a tiger hair, check a website. Carve a tiger hair, check a website. Zero, 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 zero. Next time, there isn't going to be a next time. Today's deal was the reservations until end of July. The thing about the website too is it wasn't designed by my city, Ome City. It's a third-party service. So when this thing all started to cook together some months back, of course, software entrepreneurs got on this. They came up with these ideas for these reservations websites and then went out to sell them to all the cities. Because from the government's point of view, the cities have to handle their own vaccination programs, reservations and this and that. And your typical little small town city hall, like they're going to build this from scratch by themselves? No. So any number of software companies quickly jumped into this thing. This is all happening behind the scenes. So the companies must have thrown these things together, got their salesmen, and every city hall in the country must have been besieged by these software salesmen saying, here we are, we have the solution for you. We can handle your vaccination reservations for you. It's sensible, I guess. What little city hall can do this by themselves? None of them. Reload, 00, reload, 00, reload, 0000. Click through just to see. Nope, X. Click through to the calendar, X. Nothing is changing. Reload the calendar. Nope. Nope. Is it show and tell time? What a mixed up day. It is. It's show and tell time. What a mixed up day we have here. My God, what a mixed up day. Sorry about this. Whatever. There's stuff I can control and there's stuff I can't control. Put that aside. Can I call my doctor and ask what the situation is? Well, one, I don't have a doctor, and two, specifically, those guys are out of it. What happened early on in this was that the medical staff was besieged by this. So they set up this system where it's all taken away. You don't talk to your doctor, you don't talk to the health center, you don't talk to City Hall. It's all being done through these special reservation sites. Okay, I've partly opened this. It took a while. White tape. This is where I gave up and thought, let's do the rest of this on the stream. So, careful with your headphones. This tape is noisy. But this is an unusual thing we're going to look at today. This is an unusual item. I can't find the beginning. Let me reload the page. Nope, all zeros. See if we're running out of time here. Where is the opening of this tape? Let's make a new beginning. Yeah, this is the white version of the green tape. Hi. Domo onegaishimasu. Hi, arigatou gozaimasu. It's the mailman. But it's a fun item we're going to look at today. Where is the beginning? Here we are. That wasn't the beginning. Which is more fun, failing to get a vaccine or opening a package? Let's try again. Reload the page. Nope, 000. So I think we are dead for the day. Okay, we have a light item and we have a heavy item. We'll look at the light item first. These are actually the same thing. to be if they're the same thing. A light item and a heavy item, and they are the same thing. Welcome to Japan. Okay, that's enough to get inside this thing. It's masking tape, but it tears cardboard. Let's put the heavy item away for a minute. Let's look at the light item. Okay. Some of you may know what this is. And there's a question mark on this to me. There's a question mark on this. Too much tape. It's an auction, you know. If it had got damaged or something and the person receiving it was in any way thinking it wasn't packaged properly, it's trouble for the guy who sent it. So they overdo it. People overdo it so that they can't be blamed when something goes wrong. Maybe it's the vaccine story in a nutshell. You overdo it and you just double check and double check. Let me reload the page. No, it's still all zeros. Okay, what we are looking at is what's generally noticed as a Sudimono print. It's an old print of an image with poetry included. The originals of a print like this would be made in the 1830s and 1840s. I'd have to look up the details on this. 1830 or 1840 would have been the original, but a great many of them were reproduced in the 1890s. There was a company in Akashi in Kobe that made reproductions of these to sell to foreigners. And at the moment, looking at it right now, I can't tell the difference, whether this is one of the originals from 1830 or whether it's one of the reproductions in bad condition from 1890. The paper condition tells me that this is 1830 or 1840. But those are really, really rare. And it's not likely that Dave here is likely to score one of those on an auction. It's much more likely that this is the 1895 copy and that this is just aged and toned and not taken care of well. Now, there's what they've done here. This is a kettle, and in front of the kettle there is, I believe, I'd have to look this up to be sure, I believe it's a mirror with cloth around it. And what we see here, this is really going to be difficult to see, is there's a fabric here that is all embossed. And I'm not quite sure how much we're going to be able to see here without arranging special lighting. The circular object, which is an oval shape under this, and then surrounded by cloth. So it's a mirror with sort of cloth hanging over the edge, the cloth that would cover the glass part. Now, how are we going to tell whether this is an original or a Meiji copy we're going to have to go to the reference books. And they're pretty much carefully cloned, but the copies have the poetry in a slightly different location than the originals. They didn't copy them microscopically copied, they just copied the same picture. So the reference books will tell us whether this is from 1830 or whether it's 1895. It's Harunobu Gakute. Gakute Harunobu, who was a pupil at one point of Hokusai, one of Hokusai's pupils. There would have been metallic pigments on here. I don't know if you can see. It's really, really, really filthy and old. There's a pattern on the kettle which was gold originally, and a bronze originally. It's leaves. There's a sort of a pine needle pattern here. It would have been in bronze powder. So it's one of Hokusai's. You said a mirror, isn't it a cup? I'm open to suggestion. You tell me. You were thinking this is a cup scooped down with a cloth around it. I'm willing to accept that that's what it could be as well. It could be a flat oval with pattern on the back and it's a mirror, or it could be that this actually scoops down and this is a cup. I will be more than willing to accept that interpretation. Anyway, this is the light item. Yeah, the cup would make sense. It would indeed make sense. So I will absolutely. Let's roll back now and look at the heavy item. And I'm sure somebody already understands what this is. The person who put this up on auction also has one of the wood blocks. And this is really, really, really interesting for me, because if this print turns out to be the earlier version of this print, 1830s, then it means we have a wood block from the 1830s. If. What's the opposite of ASMR? The fingernails on the blackboard, the sounds that people don't like. I'm doing this right in front of my microphone. Sorry about that. I didn't realize that. Holds it in front of his microphone and scratches his fingernails on the blackboard. Sorry about that. There we go. Out you go. We have a very, very old wood block. Oh, Taran-san, are you here today, Taran-san? This has been around for a while. Whoa, this has been around for a while. There's another question about this too, the idea of whether this is one of the wood blocks from the original version in 1832 or 1830s, or whether it's the 1890s. Another question is how worn the block would be. When the surimono were first made back in their original version, they weren't commercial items. The poetry club would have been talking to a woodblock workshop. They would have commissioned the thing, and they would have made 50 copies or 100 or nowhere near 200 copies. It was just copies that were made for the guys in the club. And then the thing would have been finished. But come the 1895 version, these copies were now being produced for sale. They were sold to the foreigners and whatever around there. So if, and I've never seen one before, but if we had a theoretical chance to see one of the wood blocks for these prints, if we did have a wood block from the 1830 or 40 version, it would be fresh and clear. They only would have made 50 copies, 60 copies, 100 copies, and then the block would usually normally have been planed off and thrown away or something. But the blocks from the 1890 versions, they were used to make more and more and more and more and more. And the bad news for you right here is this block is quite heavily worn. The lettering on this block, this has been printed and printed again and printed again and printed again. Certainly some hundreds of copies have been printed from this block. So that's a very, very, very strong piece of evidence pointing to the fact that this and the accompanying print are almost certainly the copies, the Akashi surimono reproductions from the 1895. I'm not heartbroken about that. That's what I expected to get. It was just a one chance in a tiny, tiny chance that this could have been an original from the 1830s, but I am very happy to have this. This is now dateable. This will be 1895 or 1896. It's the key block for this print. No, it's not. Different poetry. Different poetry. It's the key block for a kettle with different poetry. Dave falls silent. Flip it over. The back side is one of the color blocks. Color block means tone block. As I said, there's karazuri, there's embossing on the back side here, and this is clearly the embossing block for that stuff. We can even match it up. We can put our paper in the registration mark here, and we can see it's the carved places that do the embossing on part of this sake cup, which, yeah, I'm willing to believe this is a sake cup, not a mirror, absolutely. But this is not the key block that this print was done from. But the key block seems to show 1890s, worn out, but the print is different. Do you see it? Here, look, here's the handle. There's the top of the thing, there's the handle, and right above it we have the first poem cascading down. And here there are two poems, one on each side of the handle. There's a scratch here. There's no actual ikitsuke carved. There's just a scratch. What about the other side? Come on. What is going on? What is going on? There is no corresponding registration mark. There is no complete registration mark. Do you see what's going on? I think somebody a moment ago, I didn't get names here. I don't know about chocolate eggs. Look, we've got the corner registration mark here. It's so black it's difficult to see. I'm sorry. Honestly, I'm sorry. I can't do anything about that. There's the corner mark, and paper would have normally gone in the corner mark. The printer would be here. And we can see, well, it's upside down, Dave. Just a minute. No, it's not. Here's the spout. There's the spout. Paper in the registration mark. It's close. No, it doesn't match. So it's certainly not this paper. The registration mark is for a different size of paper than what we are seeing here. And there's nothing on the left-hand side. Full of mystery. This is so much fun. Full of mystery. Full of mystery. There's a registration mark here in the wrong place. There's one missing here. We never see these prints on larger paper. Never, as in we never see these prints on larger paper. No idea. I have no quick, easy answers for you. I have no easy answers. Research will tell me whether this is an old print or a new print. The block is pretty worn. It's also nicked with a new nick here. The guy who sold it to me probably wasn't very careful. This is fun. I'm sorry, it's really difficult to see here. I'm sorry. So with the registration marks, there's all kinds of ways to do this. You've seen me fool around with this sort of thing a lot when we're doing. I did that print upstairs a while ago. Remember, I just put tape when I did the share certificates. I just put some tape on the block, put the paper in, did my printing, then took the tape off. So nobody later would ever be able to see what was going on. But there is a registration mark carved here. It's a little bit lower than would match this piece of paper. But over on the left-hand side, there is no corresponding mark. They put a piece of green tape there, really, in 1895? And as far as Soto Kento, as far as it being off the block, again, we've run out of paper here. This is a mystery on top of a mystery on top of a mystery. No idea. Okay, we'll be photographing this. It will go into the collection. We'll put it up there with the question marks, and we will ask the world, can you give us some ideas and questions on this? There's the chip. Somebody's chipped it. I've tried the website. I keep trying it. I just tried again. Reloaded. Nothing. Zeros all around. Zeros all around. Reload. Zeros all around. Sorry. We could put ink on this and take an impression of it. I'm not going to do that right now. For me, it means nothing, but there are researchers out there who, when they get these old blocks, they take samples of the pigment that they find on them. So for me to come along here now and slap some pigment on this and take an impression just to see what it looks like, this would perhaps not be a good idea for future researchers. So those people who perhaps haven't been born yet, they would appreciate Dave not to put pigment and spread stuff around on this. It really wouldn't teach me anything. It would show me a picture of the thing. We know what it looks like. So I'm actually not going to do that. I'm not going to print this thing, just in the interest of preserving the pigment. It's only black. People know what the black was. But in the case of different color blocks, they look at the yellow. They can do analysis of the bits of pigment that are still left on the block, and it's really helpful to them. So Dave, amateur Dave here, is not going to spoil that end of the research for the future people who may find this of interest. So from us, we will just simply hold this thing, preserve it, protect this. We will show this. We will talk about it. We will not do anything to change this. But there are now for me lots of questions. I thought we were just going to open this up, match it up, look at the wear, and I would be able to tell you cleanly what this is. A block from 1895, block from 1832, bing, bing, bing. I cannot do that. These two objects look like the same thing. They don't match up. So there we have it. I'm sorry, it's still a mystery. It's fun for me to look at this, and it would be a lot of fun for Taran-san. If he's here on the stream, whatever, he will want to look at this close up. And I would like him to look at this close up too, because some of the ways this is carved, he and Asuka-san have been on at me. They've been saying the blocks back in the Meiji time are really shallow, and Dave is asking to carve the blocks too deep because it's trouble for the printers. Asuka-sensei especially says, no, back in the Meiji time it was really shallow. Dave, you're doing it the wrong way. And here we have a block which is at the newest Meiji, and it could be much, much older, and they have carved out deeply near this handle and deeply near this calligraphy, as in not to make blots. So next time I see Asuka-san say, no, that's not how it was done, I'm like, let's take a look at how it was done. The same thing too. This is at least as deep as the way we are carving this now. Taran-san, let's have a look at this. There's also itabokashi on here, block gradation. Do you see this side here? Some of these lines are sharp. Look in front of my fingernail here. That line is clean and sharp. But the line on my fingernail here now, this line is beveled and angled. This is block gradation. They didn't want a sharp line in the finished print. Someone's saying we don't date the Mokuhankan prints. We don't date them one by one. They're too small to put the actual date on. But I think in terms of when future people look back at the Mokuhankan prints and what we are doing, our organization and who we are, it's known what we are doing and when we are doing it. Each individual print that we put out, when it was published, is certainly clearly documented. When somebody 100 years from now looks at one sheet of Mokuhankan print and says, was that done in 2020 or 2021 or 2022 before the blocks wore out? We don't number them or in that sense. But our own, we document in the sense of we talk and show and take pictures and leave a huge trail behind us. So I don't really care about that issue, but we are sort of not trying to keep anything secret. Yeah. Well, it's professional work. This is not amateur work. It's professional work. And what we are seeing here, too, I don't know how much to talk about this. We're seeing two different people at work. These lines that you see here, scooped away with a wide chisel. This is the carver. And this would have been done at the carving bench. You've seen me do this. You've seen me sit here with my chisel, banging away, and this is exactly the kind of lines that result from this kind of a chisel. You can see it. Look at this. It matches up exactly. This kind of a chisel scooped away those kind of lines. What you're seeing inside here, next to this calligraphy, this is different. See that? See that little scoop? Carver would never do that. What this is over on the printer's bench. The printer has a little 6mm gouge. And when the carver has left it a bit too shallow, the printer says, that jerk. And he gets in there and he goes scoop. And he just scoops it away, roughly and carelessly. And that scoop you're seeing there is a printer scoop. Here's another one. So I'm a little bit in between here. I said the block is carved nice and deeply. I was referring to the general aspect of it. But there are places where the printer found he was getting a blotch, and he's got no time to send it back to the carver's workshop. He simply does what he has to do, and he scoops it out. And we see this all the time. Actually, you can see them there. There's a forest of them. See this? Look at this. You can see, because of the light here, the little tiny scoops here. This is the printer saying, screw you, Jack, I need to go deeper instead of spoiling my prints. Just get it done. Just get it done. You know, I'm exaggerating the anger here. The printer would just say, Jesus, here we go again. And he would just simply do what's necessary. So we've clearly got two kinds of lines. The carver's normal lines and the printer's quick patch to do what he had to do. And I could imagine, there must have been times, you know, when you think about all the bajillions of blocks, the printer's just doing this, choop, choop. I can imagine the printer going, soup, boom, oh, chucked a little bit too far, and now the block's got to go back for repair. This must have happened. You can see it. Look at the line. He's scooping this out a little bit too far, and bang, he's going to bang into this thing. There must have been cases where that happened. Okay, anyway, enough. This is a fun one. I'm sorry that there's more questions than answers, but that's the way it is. I'm just opening this today for the first time. I haven't seen it before. I thought I knew what was in there. As it turns out, there's more to it than I thought was in there. This is going to be fun to look at this and investigate this. Okay, there we are. Good. Thank you. I'm going to go back to reloading here for a while. This is it. This is Monday morning. I will be back here again on this stream in 3 more days. I'll be back here Thursday morning, probably 00000. Probably I will still be carving our friend the tiger, although maybe, because as I mentioned, over the next few months, we are really, really short-handed of printers. Over the coming period, you are going to see Dave more doing printing than just carving over the next couple of months. We'll see how it goes. We'll get some stuff upstairs. Okay, sorry for the mixed stream here today. It's been much. I've had fun, but whatever. See you on Thursday morning or Wednesday night for some of you. Yeah, I'm now going to go back and I'm going to clear and reload. I've got another browser actually in the back that I've been trying with in the back. It doesn't show on your screen, and it showed me exactly the same results, but whatever. Bye for now. See you next time.